So I got to document this. So Cora and I just went to breakfast at this place in San Antonio called Mi Tierra, which means my land. So we went to Mi Tierra for breakfast. And I was talking to Corey about, throwing the watch away, how crazy was that, and that I was going to come home and just knock out another video right away. And so it was really strange because when I was leaving Mi Tierra on the streets here downtown, I took this turn and I heard the Lord say, now go buy another watch. And I'm like, what? Go buy another watch because time begins again. Now, Corey, was I talking about the whole earth being like an hourglass that gets turned upside down?
Yep.
And when time runs out, the whole thing gets turned upside down. Like Isaiah 24, the earth is turned upside down. So this is so bizarre. I mean, I'm just like freaking out. So I heard the Lord say, go get a new watch. And I didn't say anything because I was like, that is so weird. And so then Corey and I come to a stoplight and I take this turn and there's a detour. Yes, Corey?
Yep.
So the detour forces me away. I've never, ever, ever gone. I mean, I just don't come down the street. I have no reason to. And so this detour reroutes me and, Corey has no idea. Corey has no idea that I just heard the Lord say, I want you to go buy a new watch. I was like, what? Because time begins again. And I just told Corey, I was like, in Mi Tierra, like the whole thing's like an hourglass. When time runs out, you flip the hourglass and it begins again. I did just say that, right?
Yep.
Corey, I just heard the Lord tell me, I want you to get a new watch because time begins again. And I'm like, that's so weird. So then we hit this detour that we have to go. And then Corey just out of nowhere goes, it all begins here. See, like it all begins here. And I was like, I looked at Corey, I'm like, what did you say? And Corey says, it all begins here. And I'm like, that's so weird. Because I just heard the Lord say, get a new watch. Now watch this. And then the next thing I see is this guy going upstairs. Well, the night I got saved, it's the opposite of that. The guy was going down these stairs into the fire. I was just like, what the heck? So I'm documenting this. Weird. Okay, so not to be redundant, but just to make sure I document this whole thing. I take a turn and leaving this restaurant and I hear the Lord tell me, go buy a new watch. What? I just did the video last night about throwing the watch away. Throwing the flame of God, throwing the watch over the bridge at 222, which means the flame of El, the Almighty. And I'm like, that's crazy. Threw it in the ocean. Off a bridge that's got a big W. And then I hear the Lord tell me right now, I want you to buy a new watch because time begins again, which is what we were talking about at breakfast. That's so insane. And then Corey has no idea that I just heard that from the Lord in my spirit. And then Corey just blurts out, he just like kind of cracks up and goes, it all begins here. And I'm like, what? So Corey goes, it all begins here. And I look at him like, what? I'm like, what? What did you say? I was like, that's insane. I was almost like, what is he listening to my thoughts? That's so crazy. And I was like, whoa. Well, then I said, man, now I got to tell you, I just heard clear as a bell. Now go buy another watch because time begins again. Okay, I am thoroughly. So I'm going to do what he says. It's time to go buy a watch. I'm sure he'll take me right where he wants me. Okay, gotta document. What the heck? So I hear I'm doing this thing with Corey in the car. I'm kind of freaking out. And I heard Salvation Army. I'm like, what? Salvation Army? And there's a Salvation Army like down the street. I'm in downtown San Antonio. It's kind of an odd place, But there's a Salvation Army down the street. Like towards like what's called Southtown, where I used to have one of the Vlad Eyewear offices, where the guy drew the picture of me with the dead sheep on my face. So now I'm gonna head over to the Salvation Army. I have no idea what that's all about, but just gonna do what I hear. Okay. Okay, I just want to document this too because we're at this restaurant. Okay, look, I just got back from Houston helping my friend put up this fence. Well, he's got a dog. He's got this super cute little dog named Halo. Halo, which is high altitude, low opening. That's why he's named Halo. Halo. I mean, how weird. And Halo, my friend Jim tells me Halo is the same exact breed as Toto. Well, the last video I did is called I Guess I'm Toto. Well, the one before the one last night is like I said, I guess I'm Toto, pulling back the curtain. And then I go see my friend and he informs me his dog is the same as Toto. Well, at this restaurant, I had to go take a leak and I go to the bathroom, and at the men's urinal, you're standing there, there's a silver plate on the wall with a little red dot like a sensor. And I look at the red dot on the wall on, right in front of me where I'm going to the restroom, and it says Toto. And I was like, that's weird. So when I came sat back down at the table and told Corey, I was like, hey, if you got to go take a leak before you leave, you should go read what the little plaque on the silver urinal says. And so, just kind of make a joke because we just saw Toto in Houston. Corey goes in there and what? Tell him what happened.
And the first stall, so right when I walked in the door, the first stall that was open, it said Toto, but it was upside down. All the other ones in the bathroom were right side up.
What? Freak out. So yeah, weird. So here we are, downtown San Antonio, Salvation Army, right there. I'm telling you, I don't know if I would have said it out loud had Corey not said, it all begins here. The only way we saw that was because, out of on a whim, I just said, hey, let's go to Meat Tiara for breakfast. It was kind of weird, just out of nowhere. Just bizarre. Salvation Army. So it's kind of hard to know what you're here for. I mean, look at this place. This is a huge... And so I saw a clock over there and it looked like 9/11, but I don't want to make something out of something that's not something. So I was just like, Lord, just show me what you're trying to show me. So being the guy that I've had many people draw pictures of me with the sheep, he walks me right over here to the sheep right here. Okay, now I just got the witness of the Spirit. You see my whole body convulse? My whole body just convulsed by this. So this is what I'm here for. So I'm gonna buy this. It's a sheep. And it's, I guess that's a door. Oh yeah, he's at a door. The sheep's at a door. Like the night I... Oh, there's something going on here. So he's at a door. The sheep's at it. Well, the night I got saved, I had to walk through a door. And so I'm gonna buy this and see what's up. So how weird. A sheep in front of a door. The Lord said, look up, $2.99. $2.99 means blameless. Blameless. Without, man, now I'm getting the witness of the Spirit. Oh yeah, my whole body is buzzing. So the sheep's at the door. He said, go to Salvation Army. I did what he said. I was like, I don't know why I'm here. There was a clock. There was no watches for sale there. There was some clock, and you can make the argument it was 9/11, but with the Lord, you don't have to try and make something out of something. He'll let you know. He just let me know. Blameless, and we're at the door. So, as odd as this sounds, the Lord told me, I want you to go get a new watch. I want you to go get a new watch and to replace the one that got thrown in the ocean. Because remember that one said time is up. And I don't know, I'm gonna show y'all something. Look behind me. Y'all see it looks like just pure light behind me? Corey, come check this out real quick. Come get it in the frame. Look behind.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
So look at me. So everything behind me looks like Pure light. See that? Okay, well, the Lord told me, go get a watch. I've been documenting this. I was like, that's so weird. He told me you'll know it when you see it. Now, normally that would be very intimidating and I'd be a little bit freaked out by it. But a long time ago, the Lord told me he wanted me to go online and look up tie yellow ribbon. He wanted to give me a personal message. And I'd been struggling with some stuff and I just wasn't feeling that connection. Like I felt kind of like I was being separated and I didn't like it. And so the Lord told me, go on YouTube and look up tie yellow ribbon. And he told me I would know which tie yellow ribbon to pick. And I thought, that's just nuts. How in the world would I know which one to pick? He told me, trust me, you'll know which one. So I went online on YouTube and I popped open, tie yellow ribbon. And there were so many of them, I freaked out. So I freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, how in the world will I know which one to pick? There's so many of them. So anyway, I just scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. And then this one just popped out. And I heard the Lord say, click on that. And I clicked on it. And it was a tie yellow ribbon. I'm going to play it for you right now. It was a tie yellow ribbon. And it literally was like a character that was like animated just like me. He's wearing a do-rag or his hat backwards, just like I used to wear. And it was like a personalized, little tie yellow ribbon video. So here I am. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to go pick out whatever watch he leads me to. Let me show you something. So remember I told you behind me, so I was standing over there where Corey is, and I said behind me you can see what looks like light. Look what it says. Just a little reminder of Grand Junction. This was done for Grand Junction. What are the odds? V for vengeance. And now I'm going to get a watch, and like I said, from here it looked like all you could see is light, but as you walk up, look what it says. There you go. Okay, so try and wrap your brain around what just happened here. Watch this. So Corey, true or not true? I walk in there, we walk into the dealers into the watch section, it's downstairs. I kind of meandered through, I'm like, yeah, and then I walked straight up to one watch. This is the watch. It's this just solid black, real plain Jane. Everything was really ostentatious. And I go straight to this watch and I hear the Lord say, that's it, photograph the time on it. Like in the counter, and I'm like, what? Photograph the time. It was 1:44. And I'll show you the exact picture I took when I photographed in the counter the time. It was 1:44, and I'm like, that's so weird. And then this lady comes over and she goes, well, can I help you? And I'm like, yeah, I'd like to look at that watch. And she pulls it out of the counter and she's got a cross tattoo on her wrist. The cross tattoo on her wrist is made up of two of those old-timey nails, the flat, nails from the old days, and it's making a cross on her wrist. And that sheet painting that I just got at Salvation Army, I just hung it up at home on top of a cross made out of the exact same two nails.
Yep.
Identical nails at home on an infinity symbol. What? And I told Leah, I said, I'm sorry, could I photograph your tattoo, please? And she was a little bit, She's like, oh, yeah. And I go, yeah, I kind of collect tattoos, in photos. And she's like, yeah. And I go, where did you get that? And she goes, Wicked Ways. I was just like this. You can't even think this stuff up. So anyway, yeah, it's been insane. So when the Lord told me to look up 1:44, I heard the Lord tell me, look up the time on that watch. It's 1:44 on the watch in the counter. Well, that's way off from the time here in San Antonio. Right? You know what time it is?
Yeah.
Like, the time here is way different than what was on that.
Yeah, it's 12:14.
So it's 12:14 right now in San Antonio. But on that watch where he told me photograph the time, it was 1:44. And I heard the Lord say, look it up. You know what it means? Perception, understanding, discernment. Like the Lord's telling me, you got perfect discernment, Johnny. Everywhere you're going, I'm leading you and you know it.
Yep.
I mean,
He told you which one you would.
He literally told me which watch I would get.
Yep.
So crazy. So now I'm going to document what the heck just happened. I walked into that store right there, Dillard's. I walked through it straight to this watch. I heard the Lord say, photograph that watch now, like right now. I photographed it. What was the time on it?
144.
1:44 was the time on the watch. Then the Lord told me to look up the time. That's the watch I want you to buy. Buy that watch. Because time is about to begin again. I mean, all that light you see behind me where my hand is right there, it literally says up. Like, look, Corey, come look at my hand going in the light. Look at this. Just look at the picture.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
You can't even see my hand. It's like disappearing into the light. So there are so many supernatural, bizarre things going on right now. So I go into there. The Lord walks me right up to this watch. Tells me, photograph it right now. I photograph it. It says 144. Then the Lord says, that's the watch I want you to buy. Now look up 144. It means like complete discernment and cutting through the haze of, like false morality, really. Which is crazy because I've been talking to Corey, and Corey knows this. One of the things in my world is I always want to make sure I please the Lord, and I don't want to get caught up in legalism ever, and I also don't want to get caught up in like I can do whatever I want because, hey, if the Son sets you free, you're free indeed, but you're not free to go willfully sin. So one of the things in my economy is I want to make sure what I do is pleasing to the Lord. I do not want to offend him. And so I seek him out on what I do, whether or not I'm using medication. I've told people I could care less if you smoke a little bit of pot. Who cares? Who cares if you drink a little bit? Who cares if you take pain meds if you're not mistaking them? If you're using something and you're misusing it, that's the key. You're misusing it. You're using it in a way that violates your own conscience, then you're falling into a sinful state. Not if you got pain issues and you got to use meds, use your meds. You need antidepressants and they help you a little bit, use your antidepressants. Don't overuse them. That's the key. Everything in moderation, folks. What an experience. Okay, so one thing I want to mention, Corey and I are here in the truck. We're getting ready to leave. This morning at breakfast, when all this started popping off and taking place, when I was mentioning about the world being turned upside down and the whole world being like an hourglass, I had mentioned 144. Is that correct, Corey?
Yep, correct.
And what was weird is I was postulating. I was like, it makes you wonder about the 144,000, 12,000 from each tribe of Israel. And I was like, man, the remnant couldn't be that small, could it? I mean, that's what I was talking about, right?
Because we were, go ahead.
Yeah, we were just talking about,
that trailer.
Oh, the trailer for the Remaining, the movie.
That's right.
There's a movie called The Remaining, and I told Corey to watch that trailer, and he watched it at breakfast. And so we were postulating a little bit, and I was postulating on the 144,000. I was like, that's just too small of a remnant. There's just no way the remnant is that small. And so the number 144,000 came up at breakfast. Can you imagine I'm buying a watch and just a couple hours later that the Lord told me buy that watch, photograph the time. I photographed it when it happened. Corey, true or false?
True.
Did we look it up right then?
Right then.
Right then. It means perception, like total perception, complete discernment. And so that's what the Lord's given me now because I've sought him in everything I do. And, when I say everything, we all have times where we fail a little bit. But what I'm saying is I'm diligent in seeking the Lord and seeking his will over my will and, in acting on it and saying, what would you like me to do? What's your will? Is it okay to be taking meds if I'm in a lot of pain? Because of my back, and my tailbone and, some of the injuries I have are just, it's brutal. But again, I don't want to offend the Lord by, the Bible says all sorcerers go into the pit. Well, the word sorcerer is pharmakia. So that can be a little bit scary, but the Lord showed me you have to discern between, what it is and what it is not. What it is responsible use of what you're using as opposed to very irresponsible use. So now he's shown me you've got complete discernment, and he proved it. I mean,
He told you what you knew. You would know which watch to get.
So, okay, Corey, say that again.
And the Lord told you before we left that you would know which watch to get.
And I told that. That's how Corey's saying that. Is I said the Lord told me I'll know exactly which watch to get. And I said, well, let's watch the tie a yellow ribbon video just to encourage me, because a long time ago he told me you'll be able to open up YouTube and you'll be able to pick out the right tie a yellow ribbon video that is going to encourage you, because I love you and I want you to come home. You don't worry. Because, you know, there's some times where I stress out. I'm like, I hope I haven't done anything to offend you. I don't want to offend the Lord at all. So anyway, so I looked up tie yellow ribbon years ago, and it was tailor-made for me, as was the watch I'm wearing, because there's a new heavens and a new earth that's about to begin. And look, Cora, this in here right here, it's got a laser and it shoots darts. Let me see you. This here. Oh no, I left the video on. This right here, this one shoots darts, got a laser, it's got a cutting tool on it. Yes, sir, this is one heck of a watch. That's just Corey and I knocking off. I actually did that to the lady. I said, y'all got a watch that has a laser, shoots darts and maybe has a laser? She was just like, no. That's all right, I'll take this one. I want something like my AR. All right, so I told y'all the painting that I got, well, let's see, it's not going to stretch. I put right up there on this, that's actually an infinity symbol that's blue and green, and that's where I put the painting of that sheep that was $2.99, which means blameless. Now, after I put that up there, I told Corey, you know, hey man, I hear the Lord saying, go get that watch now. Like, so I said, you want to go with me? This is so weird. I'd love to have a witness with me. So Corey went with me to go get the watch. You guys just saw that. Well, we're back in my house now, and this is a piece of artwork my son did. This is metallic epoxy, and that's where I hung that sheep right in the middle of the infinity symbol. Ready? Okay, so there it is. There's the infinity symbol. There it is. Corey's going to peel this off. Watch this. Watch what's coming up, folks, right here. Look what's right there. That's exactly what's on the girl's wrist that sold me the watch. So insane. It's like, ah! I mean, you can't make that up. There it is. I'm telling you. That's just absolute insanity. And can you imagine that the very person that waited on me, they have that? And there's a lot of people that could have come over and helped me. There's plenty of people there. Yeah. And that's what the tattoo on her wrist was. That's insane. Time's about to begin again, folks. There's a new heaven and a new earth, and it's coming right now.